Hi, my name is Juan Carlos Bernal, and I'm here today to talk a little bit about change. And the reason is that recent clients have come to me with different changes that have taken places in their lives, and how these changes have affected their surroundings, whether it be at home, at work, in the corporate world. In each one of these areas, it has an impact depending on how we perceive change. And the problem is that we are going to be faced with change no matter where we're at and what we're doing. Change is part of our life, it's part of what we do. It's more of how we handle change, how we actually have a perception of it, how we perceive it, and what we do with it that actually is going to make it more bearable, more fruitful, or it's going to take us to a level where we're not going to be able to perform as well or accomplish as much. And that's the problem with change, that it has an impact on us, and it's up to us, totally up to us, to redirect that action or reaction or perception about it. And when we don't do that, when we allow change to just overwhelm us, then all of our resources are depleted. Our energy is low. We tend to overthink things. We tend to underthink or not think at all. We tend to go into that numb state, right? And it all depends on how you handle it. And the whole thing is that change brings us to the unknown. What's going to happen now? What's next for me? What's going on? What's going to happen has a lot to do with that resistance that we have initially to change. And the first thing that we should do when we encounter change is take a look at ourselves. Take a look at what's going on. How is change affecting me? Not in the sense of how is that change positioning me, where am I going to go or what am I going to do, but how am I handling it? How am I being more effective with the change that's happening to me? For instance, I have a client that recently spoke to me about a situation that she had had in the past where she was let go of a job and it was very unjust. She was accused of many things, and her, even up to today, and this had gone on a while ago, she had this attachment to that change, to that particular situation that happened to her, that she was let go. And she couldn't, everything she did and everything that as she moved forward was all related to that particular event. And she kept saying no, because when I was with that company and what they did to me and what happened to me and the injustice of what happened. And when I started talking to her, hearing her out, letting her know what were all those negative things, it was like a whole list. It was very easy for her to express everything that was wrong about it. Once she was done, I asked her, okay, what good came out of this change? And it kind of got her off guard, but then she started thinking and she started mentioning so many positive things that had happened. Her growth, a new company that she was involved with, more opportunity for the future, for being able to handle things in a better way. And she went on about the good things that happened. And then I asked her, okay, that's a very good list. Now, what are the things that would have been bad had you stayed with that company if the change hadn't happened? And once again, she was a little startled and started once again mentioning a whole bunch of things of how if she had stayed in that company, she wouldn't have grown, she wouldn't have the opportunity she has now. And she started mentioning from there on a whole bunch of things that she realized that had she stayed with that company, her whole future would have been completely different from what she had planned, what she wanted, what she had as goals and objectives to reach. And this is one example of how we can take change, something that has happened to us in any particular area of our life, and give it a new perspective. And we do that by analyzing what the change has done. You know, obviously we know immediately what the bad effects, if you will, of the change are, right? But that list is easily made. But then ask yourself, what came good out of it? You know, a lot of people mention about the opportunities they have for growth, for instance, the opportunity for looking for a new career, the opportunity for doing what they want in life. Even people that have gotten fired or laid off from work, when they start looking at their situation, they realize that they've been in jobs for a long time that they have settled in, but it's not something that they wanted. They wanted to move on. They wanted another opportunity. And this opportunity now opens up. Granted, not in the best manner or the easiest way to do it, but by looking at it in a new perspective, it gives them the hope that now they're on the way of achieving those goals, those dreams that they had before. Now, the changes come in many different ways, in many different forms. The biggest problem we have with change is that we want to control it. And we only have control of that inner circle, the things that have to do with us, how we perceive it, how we think about it, what we act, how we react. All those are in our control. So when change comes, that's the first thing you should do is what is it that I'm in control of, and then act on those things. If it's your thoughts and that's the only thing you have control of, change the way you're thinking, change your thoughts to a better serving thought. And by the way, I'm not talking about lying to yourself. The situations sometimes are grave. You know, somebody that has been either demoted or laid off, it's not to say, well, I'm not laid off. I still have work and I'm feeling fine. That's lying. And what I'm talking about is the frame of thought. The frame of thought usually comes in a form of victim mode, right? Of what an injustice has been made. Why did they did to me? I don't deserve this. And that kind of thought pattern, what it brings is a depressive state in which we don't have any control over. Now, if we change our thoughts and we start thinking, oh, what are the new possibilities? This opportunity, what doors does it open up for me? What's new for me in life? What are the new steps that I need to take? What are the areas that I need to grow? And we start asking better questions, having better thoughts, then our state of mind will be different and we'll be able to act and react in a better form and get the results that we're looking for. Because remember, it's not lie to yourself so that you will feel better. It's put it in a new perspective so that you can act in a better way to get the results that you're looking for. Because at the end, that's what we want. We want better results from any change that has come. And once again, going back to that control, the second level of control is those people that are around us. And sometimes we believe, we have a perception that we can control those people, that we have something that we can do to control them. For instance, an employee may think that they can control their boss by giving them their all, their best work, and doing everything for them. The reality is that, as we have seen over and over in the past years, has been that even when you're doing your best and you're performing your best, you can still be laid off. You can still be out of work. And then we change because we think we're in control of that situation. When it happens, we kind of freak out, right? We have problems accepting it because it came out of our outer circle where we don't have any control. That outer circle keeps extending to the point where if a corporation folds and everybody's laid off, you know, with very little control that you have over that. And when we try to put our mind around it of how we can control it, that's when we get into a state where confusion, anger, injustice, and all these thoughts start coming into mind, and we become very ineffective. So how do we handle change? Well, it's once again taking control of what we are in control of. And that's our thought pattern. That's our actions. That's the way we're going to respond to the change. And the more control we have over that, not hand it over to somebody else so that they can decide for us and they can feel for us and they can tell us how we're supposed to act, the better we're going to be able to handle change. Now, once again, change is all around us. It all depends how we perceive it, how we handle it, how we are going to be able to get the most out of the change that has happened in order for our better results, for us to move into the align ourselves with what we want in life, what we're looking for, what our objectives are. So take a little time and think about that. Think about what's the biggest change going around in your life right now. How are you handling it? How are you thinking about it? And let me know. Write me a short note, something, and tell me what are your strategies for handling change. Once again, Juan Carlos Bernal, it's been great to be with you, and you'll be hearing from me soon. Talk to you later.